Yay!
Hi, everybody. This is Marlena, and we're brought to you with Glowing and Earl. And what we're going to be talking about is the Mandela Effect. But we're going to start off with the anatomy changes, and this will be our show for today. And then we're going to go on with different days. Each day, we're going to do something different. So, for the ones that have never heard of the Mandela Effect, it's this effect that's going on dealing with things out of the ordinary, things that are changing in your face. So a lot of people don't realize that their skeletons, their organs, all of that has changed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen share and show everybody exactly what has changed. So let's do this, shall we? So I'm going to screen share. Welcome on panel, Glowing and Earl. I'm gonna show some pictures, and then after I show the pictures, then we'll discuss them, and then you guys can tell me what you think about it or what happened. You know what I mean. So let's do it. Hopefully, there's some people. If there's no people watching, they're gonna watch it later. So that's the way I look at it. All right. So let me screen share. I want to make sure it's actually working because the other day it wasn't working very well for me. Let's see. So the Mandela effect changed bodies. So different from what it used to. A lot of people have been going through aches and pains they can't explain. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go head to toe. I think that's the best way to do it, right? So let's see. Okay, welcome everybody that's watching. Here we go. I'm going to do a screen share because that's the easiest way that we can do this. I want to make sure it's showing. Hopefully that's showing. Let me check.
I can see it.
I see it too.
Great. Okay, so this is the skeleton. And what's different with our skeleton right now, our skull, is now we have this bone behind our eyes that we never had before. Right there. It shows our bone. See this bone? We have this bone now here behind our eye socket. We had that before. And the reason for it is because our brains are a little bigger. Our brains got bigger because our pineal glands are decalcifying, which tomorrow or hopefully sometime in the next couple of days we'll go over the ascension process and why this part of our brain is getting bigger. But for now, we're just going to go over the bones. So for now, here we go. This right here, this bone behind our eyes is different. Can you guys see my mouse? Probably not, eh? Earl, can you see my mouse?
I can see your mouse. Yes.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, good. Okay, this was never there before. And then this bone here next to our orbital lobe, that's our orbital bone right here. This here did not stick out like that, and there's a big indent here. We didn't have that before. Also, we now have these little holes. One here. Let me get a better picture to show you. These holes, there's one above here. Now, this is a fake one, so that's not a good one to show you. Find a better one. Okay, we have these holes now. We never had those. There's some right here on our chin. And there was some up here. And they're gone now. So I would call that a flip-flop. So sorry about that. My dog is just a little jerk. So okay, that's the skeleton. The skull. So Glow or Earl, I know Glow's driving because she just came from being in a horrible hurricane in Florida. So I don't really expect her to look at the screen. But what else do you remember about the skull itself changing, Glow?
Those are the main ones. The eye thing, the holes, and I think you're right. I can't feel the holes above the eye anymore.
Isn't that nuts?
trying to see if I feel them anymore or not. Because
Yeah,
I feel the one
I
above it.
can't feel 'em. Sorry. Didn't mean to.
No, it's okay. Stop it, dog. Yeah, another thing is our nose. I forgot to
Right.
mention that. We used to have cartilage, and we used to be able to, you'd be able to move your nose back and forth a little bit. Now it's really, really hard. You got a really hard bridge on your nose. This one shows it here better for the nose part.
Right.
I forgot to mention that. Even though this is a cast, it still shows it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
that, uh, I don't know if in Bewitched is able to do that anymore. I haven't checked that out.
That's right, right? A lot of those shows changes, but we'll go over that on another show.
Yeah, that's for another time.
Definitely. So there you go. So that's it. The skeleton changes, and how I'm not the skeleton. I keep saying that the skull changes.
Yeah, but both the orbital bones now look different. Like, they look very more larger in proportion than what they were.
Right. There you go. People look different too, eh? The jaw
Yeah,
itself is squared out more because a lot of people have been getting pains in their head, getting like these little migraines here and there. I'm wondering if it's not because of these skull changes. You know, when it
I've
was kind of
gotten that from time to time,
right.
myself. So, yeah.
Okay, so let me go to see these two. Okay, this is what I was going to show you guys too. That's new. Is these little tiny holes around the orbital bone. There's three little ones now that are on the side. Right there. It's really odd to me. And then how this bone here is really stretched and thin now. It wasn't like that before. It was like one big piece. This was one big piece. It was your cheekbone was one big piece.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not now. So I had to point that out. Okay, so we did that part. Let's see. This ain't going to be a very, very long show, I don't think, but that's
No.
okay. So we're going to the heart. See, this is the heart.
Mhm.
There it is. Time. I used to say the Pledge of Allegiance. We put our hand over our left. Over
Right.
our heart was on the left hand side. And now our heart is in the very middle and just slightly to the left. Just see that slight, very slight.
Yeah,
And I remember it being way over here on the left hand side, you
that's
know.
what I
Even when
remember.
exactly when I took first responders and when I was a when I did firefighting training, when we were doing heart compressions or whatever, we'd have to be more over. Have to be more over to the left hand side. So obviously that's now has changed. You know. Okay, let me get rid of this
Yeah, we
thing.
were talking about that last night, and what you said was when you had to do like chest compression, the bone in the
Right,
middle would be more
right,
flexible when you would push down on it. But now it's like
right.
hard bone.
And that's what I'm going to talk about right now. That bone right here, this one here. Wait, that's not a really good picture. I want a better picture. Can you guys see when I switch screens
Yep,
too?
I see it. Well, can't. I'll have to check to see if
Yeah,
everybody else
Flo keeps
can.
falling in now is because she's getting out of a hurricane. So Okay, so our
Well, I can see
sternum.
it. I'm sitting here.
Spiral says yes.
You
You can
you
see.
listen. You don't look at your screen. You're driving.
Well, I'm not driving. I was sitting at a gas station waiting for a little one.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Okay, so our sternum right here used to be really soft. Now it's really hard. It's a hard plate now. Like if you touch it, it's wicked. Like very, very hard. It's raised. It just feels really odd, you know. And then your clavicle up here. This is way up now. Those bones, our collarbones, are really far up. They weren't before. I remember them being just above my breastbone. Like
Yeah.
that's where they were. It was way down there, and that middle um, crevice. I think that's I don't know what you would call it. That is in the middle of your two bones up on top, right here. This right here used to be a big dip. Right here, it used to be a big
Right.
dip.
Yeah.
Now it's like almost these are touching.
Mhm.
I mean, they're not obviously, but well, actually, when I touch it, it feels almost like they are. I put my finger there now, where before I was able to put two or three fingers.
Mhm. Yep.
So that changed. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there because there is something there I'm gonna show you guys. But anyway, and then you look at our ribs. Our ribs are real long now. There's a whole bunch. I mean, we always have the same amount, but they just seem like they're really long.
Right.
Oops. Wait a minute. This is going nuts. Okay. See, our rib cage is real long, and now we have floating ribs. We'll find a better picture here. We are going to be going through all these. Okay. Our bones, our rib bones, they're real long, and now we have these floating ribs in the back. I
Right.
remember the floating ribs coming right up to the front to about
Right.
here, and then now it's like somebody just stretched out our rib cage or made it thinner or something to make it longer. So when you go here to where this floating rib is, this is how weird things are. So our spinal cord now has these big rivets going along here, like along each side, the rivets. It used to be just a spinal cord. You see there used to be like little nubs, but now they stick out pretty far,
Mhm. I've had
you know?
pains with that kind of stuff, like
Yeah.
rear rib and all that. It's just like, ow.
Yeah, quite a bit. People are talking about, having their backs being sore. I mean, look how far these are sticking out. It's ridiculous. I mean, that's
The
far.
pelvis doesn't look right.
No, the pelvic now is like wider this way, and then our tailbone comes out and it's shortened now. Before that used to be like very, very skinny, like
Mhm.
because if you'd hurt your tailbone, you felt it. If you sat
Oh
down
yeah,
wrong,
yeah.
you felt it. But now you don't get that anymore. It's different, you know. So let's go inside the body for a second. Okay, we did the heart. Oh, here's a good picture of how the rib cage looks now. That's incredible.
Wow. Yeah. No, not
And,
my
and Earl,
reality.
did you know that now that floating rib, if it gets broke off now, that it can grow back?
What?
Yep.
That,
I should have brought that thing up. Oh, well, after we do the changes, then I'll bring up those other web pages where it shows the information about ribs growing back now. And it's just those ones, I believe. I'm not real sure, but I know when I seen it, I was like, "What? Oh my goodness!"
well, that would change everything, like even in the Bible, because
Yeah,
God took a rib out of Adam to make Eve. I mean, then in the Bible said because God took the Eve of the rib out of Adam. That's why men only have like didn't have that one rib there what because of what God did. But now
yeah,
now that's true that goes back, then yeah, that changes everything.
it does. It really does. Okay, so the lungs now, let me see. I don't know if I've grabbed that picture of the lungs in a second. Sorry, I was more organized than this. All
We'll
talking,
get
so
better over time. Don't worry.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so the lungs now are quite large. They're longer. They also produce blood platelets now. They didn't do that before. It's like new discovery, right? This is what they said. It's a new discovery. Which how could it be
Wait,
a new
what
discovery?
produces blood platelets now? Your
Our
lungs?
lungs, these
Uh,
new lungs we have in this reality.
I thought
Eh?
it was your bone marrow that produced your
Isn't that
blood.
funny? Well, like I said, after we show the anatomy changes, I'll show you these websites that are showing this information. So I would give credit to the person that made these models here, but I don't know who did it.
Mm.
I'll find out. Someone had posted this on Pinterest, so it's like I have to just go by this. So see, our lungs now look like the bottom one,
Mm-hmm.
or is it the top one? Okay, we did the heart over here. See, it was over
Mm-hmm.
here. Now it's in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
right? Different, the size.
Mhm.
And what I noticed too is everybody has congestion in some way or another. Coughing. Maybe we're getting used to this new body. It sounds strange, but it's very true.
Probably true.
Yeah. What were you gonna
Mhm.
say, Glow?
I was just agreeing. I was
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
agreeing.
okay. Awesome. So now let's go to the kidneys. Kidney shot, Earl. Remember? If you
Oh
beat
yeah,
somebody up,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, the
Lower
kidneys were,
back.
yeah, and they're towards our back, and you would get hit at the bottom,
Right.
and that was a kidney shot. If you want to take someone out, you hit them in the kidney shot, right? In that
Mm-hmm.
kidney shot. Now our kidneys are way up high, under our rib cage.
Right.
I did have a picture of that one, mind you. There it is. Look, they're way up inside the ribs now.
Yeah.
Odd, because they used to be way down here, and in the back more. So now they look like that, right? Okay, let me get rid of that one.
I have some theories about this that maybe I can bring up later.
So okay, so we do the kidneys. Oh, the liver. Look at
Yeah.
our
Well,
liver is
The liver's
huge.
huge.
yeah.
Yeah, it is huge, and
Huge.
it's up
Mm.
higher.
Yeah.
And it has different functions now too. Like it's making blood platelets or something weird. I think that's that or
Well,
the
that's the
lungs. Something's
lung.
doing.
Oh, it's the
Okay,
lungs.
it's the
They're doing
lungs.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, the liver always cleared out stuff, but no, the lungs has blood platelets now. So if you look right here on this side, um, um, someone has a before and after of what they believe how everything looked, which I totally agree with most of this stuff that whoever made this, because you could see on this model here it shows when we had holes in our eyes.
Mhm.
See it here, it shows we don't. Someone did a pretty good job on this part. But okay, so our intestines, we didn't have our intestines weren't huge like this.
Right.
Our small intestines did not look like that. They were
Right.
skinny like this,
Yeah.
little.
Hmm.
And now they're like, I mean, look at the size of them. They're almost the
Well,
same size as our large intestines.
plus with that the stomach like this the stomach used to be like down at the end like it would have to go through all the intestines to get get down to the stomach and then it would go out to wherever. But now, like the stomach is at top, and then it goes down to the.
Wait, I'll show you. The stomach is so strange now. I mean, it, okay, look at this is a good picture here of where the liver is. The liver way that look at it's like way up there.
Yeah,
It doesn't even make sense. And then right here, there's like a crimp. So if
yeah.
anybody's getting stomach pains, that's probably why.
That could be the reason why people are getting like me getting acid reflux because that could be because of that crimp there.
Definitely, I
That
agree.
that's
I
from my
totally
thought.
agree. Okay, this is the before and after of our skeletal system. And I know, okay, this is now. Okay, this one on the left hand side, that's now. And this is what we did look like. Um, yeah, oh my gosh. It's see, look our pelvic area, like he pointed out, like Earl pointed out, it's so different. See this what it looks
And
like now? Our tailbone's wider. See, and over here, it looked more like an elephant. Looked
right,
like an elephant, right? I'm Glow. I'm going to say something to you. It's going to trip you out in a minute that I've discovered today. Um, See, and it shows our eye sockets not being with the bone in the back, and everybody did look different. I mean, I look at somebody and they do not look like they used to look like to me. Then we get down to our leg bones, they're totally different. Over here it shows our joints being from the bottom, okay? And they used to be the join the top. I mean, okay. So you get your this right here, and the ball of this joint is the top bone. Now it's the bottom bone that has the ball joint. That's really odd to me.
the knees are shaped different.
Well, yeah, it's because of where the ball joint is located now.
Hmm.
Yeah, it looks totally different. I'm
Yeah,
gonna leave this guy up.
the pelvic, the the pelvic bone, like for I don't know if those are male or female, but like the new one looks like it could be kind of I don't know easier or harder to like
Give birth.
yeah.
When you give birth, Earl, during your last
Those
stages
have
of
never happened
pregnancy.
for me, so just put it that way.
You're so silly. You're so silly. Anyway, yeah. Well, during birth, if anybody doesn't know, this does open up over here. I don't. It is weird now, though. Like when I look at it, this is more looks for birthing. But yeah, I agree with you, Earl. And then here's a closer look that you can tell. Like now, we have these floating ribs in the back. We didn't have. Also, these long things I was talking about on the spine. See, this is how they used to look. We didn't have those. We had very small. They were just like pretty much joint. They were, right inside the bone kind of deal. Somebody whoever did this did a really good job. So, whoever you are, if you shout me out, I'll add you to the description so I can let people know that it's your picture. I'm almost positive. I think this belonged to One Harmony. I'm not sure. So if it
Yeah,
is
I
yours,
think
sir,
yeah, I think
I shout you out and thank you for doing this for the communities.
yeah, I think that's harmonies work.
Yeah, it looks like Harmony's work. So One Harmony, thank you for this graphic. Okay, so let's see what else do we have here. Oh, this is a better picture of everything, like separated. You know what I mean? See everything separated here. It just looks so odd, doesn't it, Earl?
Yeah, it looks
I mean, look at the liver. Looks like it's underneath that lung.
right. Like, how do we fit all that in there? Like, seriously, it looks like it kind of reminds me of how like now, like I was watching the Apple event for the new stuff that Apple's coming out, and like it kind of reminds me how they have it for their new watch, where they're able to fit all this stuff into a small space, and it's like, wow.
Yeah, like how did they do that shit, right? Okay, so here's a really interesting one for the women. When you look at our uterus, it used to look like this to Earl. It used to look like the head of a cow or a ram, right? Now it's a round oval, more oval shape, and our cervix and everything is tilted towards the back. And then our fallopian tubes, thin little things anymore. It almost looks like a bigger tube. Like the tube has stretched out. It's like maybe it's releasing more eggs. I don't know.
Maybe the eggs are bigger. I
You
don't
never
know.
know. Or all, you never know. Let me see what this picture is. It's Pinterest. I love Pinterest. I'm a Pinterest addict.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
it's
might want
terrible.
to see a doctor about that one.
Yeah, go to my doctor. Which reminds me, I went to the dentist and I got X-rays on my jaw. That's what happens when you go. And my dentist was like, because my last X-rays were done quite a while ago. He's like, it almost looks like I'm looking at a different person. And my daughter, before I went into my dentist appointment, she goes, "Mom, please do not talk to him about the Mandela effect. Please, don't talk to him." So I didn't, but I will. I will.
Yeah, when
But
she's not
see,
there.
yeah, when she's not there. So, anyways, when you look at our fallopian tubes now, they used to go this way. They used to turn out. Now they turn in.
Mm,
See, they turn in now, right? Like this. They used to turn out, and they had little fuzzies and stuff, attached to the little.
yeah, they
But now they don't look like that. So that to me was very interesting. I want to share that with the women because
yeah the
that's new.
uterus doesn't look like it.
No, and it's new, and nobody's talking about it. So here I am talking about that's a new one,
I
and you
wonder
can see it.
though. I have a question for that. For that being
Okay.
the way it is, right? Would that change the way the shape of the belly is as it grows? I'm just wondering.
Well, yeah, it would. It totally would. What I'm doing is every time I'm done a certain. See, this is the old one I found right here. Like
Yeah.
right here. And the only sometimes we'll find residuals because people draw them out.
Hmm.
So that was a
Right.
residual from somebody drawing it out. You know what I mean? Now this is curved up this way. This is curved up this way, and it's no longer shaped like this. It's more shaped like an oval now, like I showed you in the previous diagram.
The reason why I think it's shaped like that because it would be easier for like the blood to like if you don't like for your period like it would be easier for it to like go out like that. That's what I'm thinking.
Girl,
But I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor either, but sometimes even the doctors aren't totally focused on what's going on. So, Glow, were you saying something?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, I'm just wondering since you're parked, you get to you can totally hang out and talk now. You know.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to. Actually, I'm
Well, if you
trying to.
want to see,
This place has a little bit of gas over here, so I'm trying to suck some
hopefully
fumes
you
from
get
it.
some.
Me too. This lady's unloading freaking gas cans. Are you kidding me?
Like save some for the rest of it. Yeah.
Right? Come
Anyway,
on
never
now.
mind. Let's get back to what we're
To
doing
this,
now.
and then we'll chit chat more. I find also that there's so many people these days that are getting their gallbladder removed. Their gallbladder. I know more. I can honestly say more than 10 people that have their gallbladder removed. I don't know why that is. I know they've been getting really, really bad pains, and that it's like last resort kind of thing. They can't get rid of the pains, so the doctors are taking out their gallbladders. Now, unless there is something really seriously wrong with your gallbladder, I think these pains are coming from these body changes that are happening.
Right.
I think, the stomach pains and all that, because I know I had them, but they're gone now. I don't get those pains in my stomach anymore. I
Right.
am still getting acid reflux, though.
Oh, I'm having it right now, and it's like for crying out loud. Mm.
Right. I get like, my sleep is messed up. My body will. sometimes I'll be all right, and then all of a sudden I'll wake up
Right.
achy, painy, shit like that.
Yeah. Or you'll
The
wake up,
muscles change.
or you'll wake up at odd freaking times and you won't be able to get back to freaking sleep. Sometimes that too. You were
Yep,
saying about muscle changes?
the
Yeah, I think
muscles.
I'm
You find a picture of muscles, but I find they're twisted more towards the front now. Like I'm only saying that because of the pain I've been getting. Hey, look, somebody did a good thing here. Sturdier skull, bone, eye sockets, nose bone. So they're talking about those changes we talked about. And over here, they're talking about the bigger liver. But I think the reason why our liver is bigger now is because our atmosphere is different now.
Right.
Maybe it's because of the chemtrails. How do we
Maybe.
know? Maybe we're trying to filter out something that's never been in our air before. For sure, they're putting shit in our water, right? So,
Right.
yeah. Someone said here more flexibility, which I totally agree with. But I'm
Well,
flexible anyway. I was a gymnast.
yeah, I'm not that flexible.
How are you with your back flips, Earl?
Oh, yeah, trying to back freaking wheelchair. Yeah, that's not gonna freaking happen. Oh, I'm sorry to say that, but you know what? Oh well, it's out there.
Just fucking with you, Earl.
Oh, I
Okay.
know you like to do that every now and then.
I love you. You know it.
I
So,
know.
this also is probably done by One Harmony for all I know. So, if this is yours, this is, a shout out to you, brother. You know, he does awesome videos. I really appreciate, his stuff.
We
Everything
should
that I
try
found.
we should try and get him sometime, to come on here.
Hey, that's a good idea. I'll message him. You know what? He probably would, because he's like a stand-up guy like that.
Yeah.
Um, but I got all these off the internet. So if anybody wants any of this information, just Google Mandela Effects anatomy changes, and all kinds of people wrote stuff. And there's probably stuff that I never even looked at yet. This is just the stuff that there's a lot of people in our circles that never heard of it, and so we're just making you aware, because once you find these things out, this will blow your mind, especially when especially the ones that know their bodies.
Yeah.
I know a nurse that told us how she almost killed somebody because down our trachea is different now. It has a kind of kink to it. So when they were putting the tube down, it went the wrong way. And then her neck started swelling up.
Mm.
And then so when they noticed it, lucky they caught it on time, and she got growled out, head nurse. And then she never thought anything of it. Of course, it upset her. And then the next week, that head nurse that did that to her, that got mad at her, same thing happened to that head nurse. You know, so there's something to that.
Yeah.
There's something to all of this.
Yeah.
And after we go over these changes, then we could discuss what you guys think about what do you think is happening to us. So we'll do that pretty soon. I'm almost done with this part. All these little circles here is what people are talking about change, like the neck bone, um, all these little circles. Like I think we went through all these already. The intestines, da da
Mm.
da. We went through all that. The heart, kidneys, the spine, the spikes in the spine. Okay, so we went over that. Ooh, men will like that. We're going to be whether we are more flexible.
Uh,
That's
is
terrible.
there any change to? I'm a male, but I'm just like, is there any change to how our,
Oh, the penis.
your penis and testicles? I,
Let's check. Let's check. I'm pretty good. The reason why I know anatomy is because I was a first responder,
right.
and I also did, just for people that don't know, I did firefighting and stuff like that. So I kind of have to know where the body parts are. I don't do that now, but I used to in my
Mm.
past. So okay. Let's Google testicles.
Oh, what
Uh,
is going wrong?
I know. I'm so afraid I might get flagged for. If it comes up, I'm just gonna real quick. I'll shut it off real quick. If it's something bad, I'll shut it off real quick. Let's see. Oh, let's see a bad picture. Self exam. No, I don't see any changes. But you know what? We will go over it and check it out. Like, I wanna. I wanna. This is showing
Wow,
Nelson
so
Mandela.
many Mandela, man.
Yeah, I want to check it out before. Look at
Yeah,
Madam Carmen. I want to check it out before I actually screen
right,
share it, just in case
right.
the pictures pop up that people aren't really happy
Yeah,
about.
yeah. Don't need to get flagged.
No, not for something like that. If I'm gonna get flagged, I'm gonna make it good, not over a penis, you know.
Yay! Mama got gas. Sorry to interrupt.
Yay! It's
So
good.
worried about that
I'm just
one.
happy you got gas. Good,
Thanks, guys. Now I can do the show and be paying more attention. I've been freaking out about
good,
that for a little bit now.
good, good,
Okay, now the changes.
good.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Intermission.
Um, so right here, we're okay. So see here, we have two bones now in our shins or whatever you want to call it. See, there's two bones in my life, in my reality, and I have to say it that way because it is a reality. And I think tomorrow's live stream we'll go over what that really means. My reality, your
Okay.
reality. We're gonna go over that, or we could do it today. It doesn't matter. But I think we should do a full stream on just what that means, because there's so many of us that have different opinions. And we all are true to ourselves, and what we believe is true to ourselves. You know what I mean?
Oh, someone's
Right.
phone is
I know I'm not answering her. Okay, I'll answer. Glow, do you want to do some talking about the skeletal changes while I answer the phone?
Didn't our leg bones change the way the bones are sitting now?
That's what she's talking about. That's
Yeah,
what
like the
she's,
way your leg comes off your knee is all weird looking. Like I used to have sexy legs, not anymore.
yeah.
With the taco salad sauce, whatever you call it, and then you put your ranch dressing. Just move that stuff over. Um, then your lettuce is last.
Yeah, so these
Okay, you know
changes
your cheese
are
is
very weird to
okay. I'm in the
how
middle of a show.
I remember, how you remember, how Mark remember, Marlena remembers.
And then after you put your meat and your sauce, and then do your lettuce, and then your cheese is last. All right, love you. You're welcome.
Sorry, I'm trying to get away from some of this noise.
See. Okay, so now we'll talk about the bones still. Okay, so we got our bottom ones has that extra bone now. Our arm bones are, and it's funny, and you know what? I have something to say about this. When you look at our arm bones and our lower part of the bone, you see how long it used to be,
Yeah,
and you see how it looks like now. I
it's
should have took a picture.
it's several, it's like an inch or two shorter.
Right. And you know what? I know this is true because when I bend my elbow, my skin, okay, you know how when you bend your elbow before you have that rough part of your elbow? Well, that
Yeah,
rough part now is down under where it should be.
Yeah,
right,
So I'm
it
gonna
is.
have to take a picture. Yeah, I'm gonna
You
show.
like your skin
Yeah,
didn't
right.
move with
It's like that.
your arm.
right.
Exactly. So this is why I think there's a different kind of change going on. Because how could my skin still do that? My elbow, that rough part should
Weird.
still be where my elbow is. It's not.
Right.
It's below it now, like more towards my
Very
wrist.
strange.
You know what I mean?
And look at
Yeah,
your
very
legs. They look
strange.
really weird. Like the legs, like below the knee, do look extremely strange.
Hold on,
And
I'll
like
be
when you
back.
shave your legs, right? Like it does feel different. I mean, if you, I don't know how many
It
people notice,
does.
but it feels weird when you're shaving like up the front side of it. and the legs are kind of like this weird. I don't know. They used to be sexier. I don't know how you can explain it. Like they just look more like bow-legged or
Probably
weird
because we
looking
have an
now.
extra bone
They
there.
were just much sexier looking legs, and the ankles seem to gotten bigger too, like wider or something. I
They
don't know. We
did.
were like denser boned or something. It's
Yeah,
a
we are.
strange thing. It's very strange. Like I don't know. It feels like more massive as far as the bone structure goes. Like I feel like I'm a linebacker some days when I look in the mirror. Like I'm like, where did these linebacker freaking shoulders come from? I feel like I'm in like football pads, you know?
That's hilarious. Yeah, but it's true because I feel the
Mhm.
same way. And, I'm not the only one that's been having knee problems. And when I went to the doctor
Right.
about it, because it's really painful, my doctor said it was from when I was in gymnastics and that, that a piece of bone went underneath my knee bone or my kneecap or whatever. But when I talked about it with people that are awake through the Mandela effect, they're having knee pains too.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this: the hip bone, to me, it feels much wider. Like it feels much.
Well, it's more narrow. Maybe that's why you think.
I don't know. It feels like it sticks out more to me. As far as my hips
Yeah.
go, they feel like they stick out even more than before. Like you have more of a the twervy little hip thing going on or whatever. It's just like I guess it grew with your shoulder width, or something. But I'm like,
Yeah.
man, if I get a, I'm like, if I get a wider hips, I don't know what the heck I'm gonna fit through a doorway. It feels like. I'm like, where did this all come from?
Right? Where did it all come from? But that's another story that we're going to have to discuss.
Mhm.
But okay, right here is what I was talking about the knees. See the bone?
Yep. Yep.
That's crazy. Like that's how it looks now, and I can see why it would hurt now.
Mhm.
Because sometimes I do feel like I'm unstable. Like
There's like an
when,
extra bone there, so like when you shave, you can feel it. I mean, you can reach down, feel it in between there. That didn't used to be there like that.
yeah, definitely.
Uh,
Yeah,
oh, I'm back. Yeah,
you did a
it's
good job.
weird.
Whoever did this did a really good job. And like you were talking about the ankles being wider, they are wider. If you
Yeah.
look at and I know my ankle bones look different.
Mhm. There's a lot of times
You
I
know,
feel like I look down and I'm like, am I swollen? And I'm not. Everything's moving right. Nothing
Well,
hurts. But I feel
my
like it is swollen.
my feet are swollen, like because I have a blood clot. But you know, it's
well, we got to take care of that, Earl.
yeah.
Whatever they do for that stuff.
Well, they got me on drugs, but the medical, like like if you're handicapped like me, I just feel like they don't want to freaking hurt you. Like I'm still waiting for doctors about this finger right here. Where I can't freaking bend this stupid thing, right? You know.
Speaking of fingers, let's talk about fingers for a second. The fingers have changed. I did notice the change in my thumbs. And I know it was a big joke one day. We were all laughing about our
Yeah,
fingers
yeah.
now. But I see the change.
Yeah.
It's like
Just
our
hold your
thumbs
hand
are
up.
way
You'll
out
laugh
now.
at it after a while,
Yeah, well, what else can we do, right?
right?
Our phalanges have shrunken and our thumbs have gone longer, it seems.
Hmm.
Almost like
Mhm.
we're growing like wings or something. Like when I look at these bones now, how our bones look, it almost looks like we're going to start growing wings soon. You know? Just
Okay,
because
here's the thing that I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
it's okay.
interrupt,
No, it's
but
good.
I was watching the TV series Bones last year, I think, and what they were showing like one bone of this person was cut, and the bone was hollow,
Hollow.
and I'm like, oh wait, I
Well,
know
it was
birds have
bones. It was
hollow.
bones. So who knows
No,
what
no,
they're.
no. Like our bones, from what I remember, were solid right through. Like they weren't hollow.
No, our bones
Um,
weren't hollow. They were very dense.
No.
right. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, that's odd. Like our bones shouldn't be hollow. The only reason why bones would be hollow like that would be for strength. Like if you hollow something out, it's a more stronger um, thing instead of it being wholly solid. I think that's what it is. I'm not sure, but yeah, I could be right.
Could be, Earl. Could be. But I know that in some instances I feel lighter. And then sometimes I don't. I think it's like it goes by a daily thing sometimes. Sounds weird, but sometimes I feel like, I don't know. It's so hard to explain. But I don't, I totally feel the differences. And my feet look different. I'm shorter. I was 5'8". Now I'm 5'6". That's a huge difference. 2-inch difference. And then some people say, well, it's because you're getting older and all this, but it's
Don't
not.
tell me I'm shrinking. I'm already short enough as it is.
I know you're low. Five what? Five what?
5'3 1/4. Gotta have that quarter in there, but I haven't measured myself in a while, so who
only
knows?
short people. Only short people throw in the quarter and the quarter.
Right?
That's so cute. Just the tiny.
And a quarter. It
So
makes
you
a
better get
difference.
checked though. You might be shorter. You might be like 5'1" now.
Well, I know my grandmother shrunk after a while, anyways, but
Well,
No,
that's
but
because
when you
they
get
that's
got
older,
old
you
age.
do.
I'm
older.
not
Right?
that
Not
old
not at
yet.
this age. Not at our age now. You know what I mean? Not at this age. Okay, so let's see what else. Let me go through all this first. Like I said, that little skin patch for your elbow is totally in a different place. It doesn't even make sense where it is now. Like it's below it. It's closer to the bottom of your arm. I know that's changed.
Yeah, you can feel it, like where your elbow is. It should
Holy
be
crap!
more.
Why
It should be the roughest part is right at your elbow
Right at
joint,
the
right?
elbow.
But
Right.
now if you feel it's a little bit lower because it's moved or something weird is going on at
Well, it
that.
did because if you look at the arm changes right now, like they're shorter, so the skin would be down here now where
Right.
it used to be up here. I'm like showing that picture.
And it's so strange how things don't like. Okay, this is what I noticed. There is a new thing on the actual chin where our chin line has changed. There's like if you reach up underneath your chin, there's like this little dip that hangs down, and
Right.
uh, and when it
yeah,
changed,
that is
my
weird.
face is very freckled,
Unconscious.
and I'm in Florida, so I'm always in the sun constantly. So I have like a natural like line of. You can see my face right there, right? You can see there's like a natural line of where there's going to be freckles and there's going to be whatever. And now you can see white patches by like my chin where that was underneath of my skin and now it's come up and it hasn't really caught up to the years of being your face being up and your chin being under, so you have like this, like I have like white patches that are very noticeable. And I was like, man, what the heck's going on in my face? Like it's not, the skin isn't even sitting right on the bone structure anymore. It's
Right.
very strange, very strange.
Right. It is strange. So let me see what else is there. So we did all these
So,
changes. We showed those changes.
and it's almost like sometimes somebody tells you about it, right? And then it happens.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
tells you about the eye color, the eye ring, the ring around
Oh,
the eye.
that it is.
Oh yeah, we
That's it.
forgot about that.
Okay, let's talk about that. Okay, I'm going to Google it so that people will understand what we're talking about. Hang on a second.
Yeah, you won't
Hmm.
get flagged for this.
I don't want to get flagged for anything, not yet, anyway. Let's see. Yeah, him. Let's see. Wow, there's a lot of stuff on here. Somebody already did the work for me right here. Okay, so, damn it. Oops. Pardon my language. That brought me to a YouTube channel. which is probably somebody that did a really
That was
good
just
job,
a
by the
darn
way.
it with darn it with a little cherry on top. That's all. I can't wait to see my
Okay,
baby
so we'll
boy.
start explaining it. We'll start explaining it.
Okay, so before Mandela, there wasn't really this darker ring around the eye. Some people remember. I kind of remember being having a ring around the eye. But what's noticeable now is like if you have brown eyes, look in the mirror, and there'll be like a bluish, darkish bluish ring around the outside of the eye. And we've had a lady actually since being notified about this documenting her eye color. She's like, there's the ring, and as week by week has progressed, her brown color is actually changing into a bluish greenish color from the outside towards the center, and you can see visibly the changes going on, like that the eye color is changing. Well, that the ring has gotten a dark,
Yeah,
it's getting deeper, darker colored. It was a lighter color, and it's getting deeper and darker, and the eye is actually going from, changing from brown into like a bluish greenish color, like a lighter color, from the outside. So it's been
yeah, and then
interesting to document it as we're aware of it. You know.
definitely, yep. And then like my eyes are green, and my eyes changed. The color of my eyes are still deep green, but now they have a dark ring around them. And then like there's people around me that have brown eyes that have that blue color around them that Glow was just talking about. I can't find those pictures for the life of me. But
Yeah, my eyes were a different colors, and one day I went to church, and one person said, "Oh, you have the nicest blue eyes." I'm like to myself, "Wait, I've never had blue eyes."
right, yeah, they're very noticeable, especially when you get them pointed out to you with the ring.
Right.
Like if like
I think
like
I would
this.
remember something like this, like
Like
you know.
look at them. They look like somebody took a pen or a marker and drew circles and drew
Almost
those
like
lines
they
around the
have
eyes.
in cartoons, like where
Yeah, like a cartoon drawing of them. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I should have had Melanie come on here and show her eyes. I would have used her pictures, but I don't want to use anybody's stuff without
Yeah,
their
not
permission.
really though.
So
Yeah,
we
because I know
might
she would have been more
go
than
back
happy to
over
show
this
us.
at
But
some point.
yeah,
Because it has been interesting to see that happening as she's been, documenting it. Seeing that color change going on. It's been very
Oh,
interesting.
I got me.
And like Earl, he didn't notice before it was changing on him, or if it was an overnight process. This is before everybody's kind of like, oh, this is happening. Let's pay attention, and it's very interesting. But I mean,
I
look
know.
how
Like who
dark
would
that
who
ring
would?
is getting.
Yeah, like mine is totally dark. Like the ring around my green eyes are like really dark now.
Mhm.
Yeah, but what is the physical, reason or need for this? Like, that's
None
what.
that
I
I
would
can
think.
tell.
Okay, let me answer that, Earl. I'll answer that. I think it's because the sun changed, and the brightness of the sun had changed, and I think that has something to do with our iris is changing color to adapt to the brightness of the sun. That's
Well,
why I think
what
they
what is
changed.
also interesting about all this too, though, is that we are, I believe, seeing colors that we haven't seen before. Because certainly when we look up at the sky and you try to take a picture, our cameras aren't able to capture the images that we're actually
I'm
seeing.
with you.
So I'm
Right.
thinking
I'm
that our
so with you.
eyesight is actually changing the
Ah, that would
color,
make sense.
maybe the vibrational signal off the colors, So maybe these colors were always there. Our eyes just couldn't see that coloration in them. But like, how many times have we looked up and seen this orangish color coming off of the sky? You go try to take a picture of it, you can't do it. It won't. It'll just show like this bright sun looking thing. But your eyes are seeing like this glowing orange off of the top of a cloud or something, and it's very different from you can't really show or explain what was doing. Yesterday I took a picture of a rainbow. The rainbow was so bright and so vivid and
And
like just so
beautiful.
colored. And
Yeah.
as well as, I mean, it took a nice picture, everybody could see the rainbow, but what I saw from my eyeballs compared to what I got for a picture to show everybody is night and day with the vibration, for the vibrancy and how dark that coloration was of the
Right.
actual rainbow. And it was a double rainbow. It's almost like the extra rainbow when the second rainbow is usually a little bit lighter than the other one. That one was almost like what you used to see as a rainbow color. And then
Right.
the main rainbow was even brighter. And then it's almost like, I don't know, I've never really seen this before. I've noticed it with your rainbows, and now the one that I saw yesterday after the hurricane thing went through, there's actually a light almost thing going on underneath
Yeah.
of the actual bow. And I've
Yes.
never remember seeing that in my whole entire life. It's just a rainbow in the sky, kind of lightish color that you can see. I mean,
Right.
this is so bright now. Like
Yeah.
something's happening here. These rainbows are absolutely gorgeous. So I'm almost thinking maybe our
What
eyes
is
are just becoming
It
better.
is. Oh, you're right. There is different
what?
colors. I'm seeing colors I never seen before. And the other day we had a red sun and we had a red moon that night,
Yes,
and
yes,
we
yes.
we could not capture it with the cameras.
Right.
No, a lot of these
I
you
mean, I
can't.
had a cell phone obviously and my iPad, but I could not capture the color I was seeing with my eyes. Just like you brought up those rainbows glow. That day that I seen that straight rainbow in the sky, I had to
Right.
describe it when I was videotaping because it was not showing up on camera. It was such a beautiful, vivid color. But yeah, we are seeing different. I'm seeing colors I didn't see before. Even when I'm drawing something, it's hard for me, or painting something, it's hard for me to match it up because
Right.
there are colors that are not in the
And
color wheel that I'm used to.
Right.
And I think you've also said that you've seen like where it almost comes at you, like a 3D effect
Right,
where
Yes.
an object is
Yes.
coming at you more,
right.
almost to your eye. And there's been a couple of people who said that it's like, wow, like this almost like came at me type of a deal.
Well, yeah. If any, but this is how I can describe it to people that don't know what she's talking about. Um, if you don't know what the 3D effect means. Well, when you go to a movie theater and you put your glasses on and you watch the 3D effect coming right at you, well, we don't see that way in normal life. We see flat. When we look at anything, we see
Right.
flat. So if you have a 3D television, you can also have that experience. So what's been
I,
going on is everything turns 3D for about a couple minutes. Like everything pops out. You see even around it for a split second. Well, not even a split second. It's about under a minute, and then it zoom goes right back to where it was. And yeah, I've experienced it quite a bit now. And when I tell people, they're like, "Oh my god, me too!" And very vivid, the vivid colors with it.
it's sort of like how the effect that you get, like, I watch 4K video because my TV can do 4K. And 4K just picks up this dimensionality of images that is really breathtaking and beautiful. But I find now, like, I'm getting more of a 3D effect from my vision, like, all the time. Like, I can get that, and it's,
And don't forget, your hearing went crazy, Earl.
oh
Like
yeah,
early this
my hearing,
summer, you were
my,
having such pains in your ear, and now all of a sudden, like a pin drops and you can hear it. It's crazy.
it,
And I
it,
haven't
it
really had that, but a lot of people have been experiencing better
I
sounds, like being able
have,
to hear better
okay,
with their ears.
Right.
I
Another
haven't
another.
had
I'm sorry,
pain,
Earl.
I have not had pain, but it was always more of the ringing in my ears. Now,
I was just about to talk about that.
when I'm at night, now I do get a little bit of a ringing, but I don't get it enough. Like at night, the sound is like so flat. Like I can hear it, and it just feels so flat, so silent that.
Yeah, and talking about those things, they call it tinnitus, which to me, I don't think it is tinnitus. I think it's because our frequencies are getting stronger and we're vibrating on a higher level is the reason why we're having those ringing in our ears. But
Mm-hmm.
another phenomena that's been going on for quite a while with me, and I know it has been going on with a lot of you guys, is hearing background music when there's no music there, hearing a
Right.
beat when there's no beat
Yeah.
there. You know,
Like
I
I
like
live.
yeah, like a while ago it was almost like an electric guitar when I was laying my head down. I'd get up and see if it was like the neighbors or something, and it was like, nope, not the neighbors. It's just me.
I haven't
Yeah,
actually. I
I
haven't
actually quite cool.
actually had that. Like I've got it. Okay, for me, before the Mandela shift, I would hear sounds of people. Like I would hear it sometimes from our air system, from the toilet. Like it would be like hearing a group of people like on the other side of something. It was like hearing like from another room
Yeah,
where
it's
people are.
distant, right?
And
So
some
I'm
of this
Right,
may
wondering.
be the ascension thing. I mean, we don't
right.
really know how
Yeah,
much
it
of
could
this
be
is
Well,
that
we'll
way
get
too.
into
Mandela or an
that later, but
ascension.
I'm just putting it out there. So,
Yeah,
Mhm. Oh, definitely.
and you know, if everything, if timelines are merging, maybe we are hearing the music from a different timeline. You know, maybe it is that. You know, how are we to really know? But I know that each time it's different. It's not like it's always the constant same song. It's not. It's like
No.
sometimes I'll hear big band music, sometimes I'll hear country music, sometimes it'll be jazz. Like, you know, it
Yeah.
depends. And it's not. It doesn't has nothing to do with my mood. It's
but
just
the
I'll go outside looking, or I'll go outside to listen to see maybe if somebody around me is playing music. But I don't live around people that are like that play constant loud music. You know,
Right.
and I've moved since, and even though I moved, it doesn't matter. I still
Yeah,
hear the
but
music.
there's that also that theory that like once you put out a radio signal that it keeps on going around and around. What's to stop it from bouncing? So our ears getting better that we can hear these things. And maybe
Could
it's
be.
just maybe we are still hearing the big band playing from 1928. You know what I'm saying? Like who knows
Yeah,
really?
that's true.
for me, like before all this Mandela stuff, I can remember one night being at home watching some video on the internet, and all of a sudden I'm hearing this orchestrated music, like contemporary orchestrated music, in my bedroom coming from nowhere. And my mom even heard. My mom comes in and it's like, "Do you have your radio up loud?" I'm like, "No, ma, I have my headphones plugged in." It came out of nowhere all around me. How do you explain stuff like that? You know?
I'm not really sure how we explain those things, Earl. It's that's what I say. How much of this Mandela? How much is ascension? How much is this? Are we skipping? Skipping timelines, or what we're actually doing? It's hard to know really because there's a gazillion theories, and any one of them almost seems plausible
Mm.
at this point. And I don't know that we're ever really supposed to know other than just to experience it. I mean, when the Mandela thing happened, some people are freaking out and they're like, the devil's got to get us, and freak out time and it's the end of the world and this and the other. And I kind of look at it as like, look at the magic we have going on.
Yeah, yeah,
What can
yeah,
we
yeah.
change? What is it's kind of malleable, right? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
what can we do with all of this? What can we make? What can we see to change and do? And
About what? I'm sorry, I had to walk away from the computer for a second.
What can we do about the changes? I mean, how can we help people to deal with what they're feeling and seeing and hearing?
Well, we have to make sure that they know that they're not alone.
Mhm.
Some people think they're going nuts. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
who wouldn't? If all of a sudden you look down and your hand is not your hand anymore, or your leg is not your leg anymore, it's like
Or,
whose body did this belong to, right?
or
But you
your
know,
country
as
shifts and all that. Like, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what you think. Like for me, there's so many different things that we can gravitate towards that would make sense. But you know what? Maybe we're not supposed to make sense of things. I think that this is a something like our physical change. We our certain body changes happened for a reason because of this plane we're on right now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
in our culture, we talk about dimensions, right? We talk about,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's 13 dimensions, da da da. And then we talk about our senses and stuff, which tomorrow we're going to go into the ascension, like we were just talking about. But as for us physically changing, um, the only thing I could say is if someone needs to talk about it, we do have a live chat room that we're there all the time. There's at least somebody there at any time. If you go into the room and if somebody's not there, all you do is say hello and someone will come and talk to you because I know
Yeah.
it is a scary thing.
Mm-hmm.
Know what's going on with your body. In the description, it's in there. It's in our Discord chat. That's where we go. We're there every day. There's some, like I said,
Yep.
someone there, and we will talk to you about it because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
us have been going through this for quite
There's
a
a
long time.
voice chat, and you can chat with us by voice.
Or you
You
can text.
can
Or
text.
text, yeah, might be. You know, it's sometimes people think they don't have anybody, or maybe they don't have anybody.
Right.
You know, they have us. So, Glow, why do you think the physical body is changing? Or did you say that already? Why do you think the body's changing like it is?
It may be having to change to deal with whatever comes next in this wacky world, or it's maybe something that that will work better, or like for the liver itself. I mean, we're all saying it's huge, right? It's so large. Well, I mean, look at how many toxins are in our environment every single day, right?
Right.
I mean,
We've
we have
got
GMOs, we have
chemtrails.
pesticides, we have chemtrails above us. I mean, maybe it needs to get larger just to keep us alive, to get rid of all the toxins that are entering our bodies every single day. I
Yeah,
mean, there
yeah,
could be something for that. Some of them may be helpful, some maybe not. I mean, and then how much of this is collectively being done, whatever. I mean, doctors look at this stuff all the time. They're like, oh wow, wouldn't it be more convenient if the heart was over a little bit more instead of having to break open the ribs to get to the heart on the left side? Well, shoot, they're the ones that are looking at it all the time. Maybe they made it happen. I don't really know. So
right.
there's, like I said,
But
there's
you
a
know what?
thousand theories.
I find these changes we're like super people now. Like everything
Mm-hmm.
that has changed is for the better.
Mm-hmm.
Like our eyesight being like seeing that 3D effect or seeing these vibrant colors we haven't seen before, seeing people seeing beings they have not seen before. And
Right.
it's true. I mean, it sounds outlandish, but I'm sure people are seeing into different dimensions. I swear, that's what it seems like to me. And all these changes, except for the physical pain that it happens, because I know everybody's going through that, which we'll talk about tomorrow because that's all part of the ascension process. I find it super bodies. It's like cells, everything is, you know,
Well, what do they say? A little bit of pain to gain a lot. I mean, if you could change your body into something better or whatever, would you go through a little bit of pain for it? I mean, it's not like it will feel weird or whatever. It may almost feel to the point like oh shoot, I need a doctor or something like that or whatever. But you will get past it. I mean, if you really feel like your heart's gonna explode out of your chest or whatever, go to a doctor or whatever. See, make sure you're not having a heart attack or whatever. But it might be everything is just a okay, and it's just part of it. Don't
Yeah.
freak out. I think a lot of people are suffering from the fibromyalgia and all this other stuff because the nerves are just like heightened senses. So
Right.
it's just it's picking up more vibration, it's picking up more whatever,
Yeah.
and there's things that they need to do to like kind of clear things and
And you
and
got
even stuff out.
ADHD and all that, so that could be the
I mean,
exception.
our kids are kind of born almost awake these days, if you haven't
Yeah.
noticed. I mean, they're
Yeah.
just so they're so amazingly awake. Look at their eyes. They're just like, oh man. I mean, there's definitely a difference. I can, just in how they look and how they feel and how they look at you. These young ones, these babies.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else is there? I mean, I have the smell thing, and I think that's more of an ascension thing.
Yeah,
Myself, I think that's
we
more of
can
an
talk
ascension
about
thing
that
because
on tomorrow.
it's not something that everybody's experienced. Yes, there's some people that'll have like a little bit of heightened sense here or there, but not almost like an extra sensory, like a
Yeah.
seventh sense type of deal going on with it. Because
Mm-hmm.
I know they're not smelling the same thing I'm smelling or the same essence type of a thing. And now I'm almost getting to the point where like if someone's really desiring something, now I'm smelling it even across. I mean, it may sound crazy, but I could smell and almost like taste somebody eating their chocolate or like coconuts all of a sudden one time, and that's pretty cool. And I'm like, trying to work on that to like zone in more on it, so it's something I can do almost any time,
Right.
because that'd be kind of cool to be able to like, okay, what am I eating? Okay, cool,
Just
and
hope
and
it
and know what
doesn't
they're doing.
happen when you're at a restaurant full of people and you're like getting everybody's like,
Well, it started out kind of, I would say it was probably around 2012 that all of this happened with the smell thing starting.
mm,
And like I said, when it first happened, it was a really not very, it like I said, there's always positives and negatives or whatever sometimes. And so, I, on certain people, I can smell this very, very nasty chemical smell. And I don't know if they're just inundated with too many chemicals in our environment that it's just too much or what it's really coming from. But
right.
every once in a while, I'm smelling these people, and it'll be so overwhelming that if I'm around them for too long, it'll give me a migraine. Um, so I'm not really quite sure what it is. I haven't narrowed that down, but then I'm quite certain I've smelled some pretty good stuff as well. Like a nature spirit type of a thing, and um, you know,
Yeah.
like I said, like the chocolate thing and whatever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like some people they see the ghost or something like that visually.
Mm,
Well, I'm getting the smell thing.
yeah.
There's that extra sensory.
My hearing, your smell, yeah.
Yeah, your hearing's gone off the chart.
Like
I
one of the
mean,
weird things with my hearing is where it's happened like several times. I'll be watching TV and I'll get like a sort of a repeat in my head of the same thing I'm watching, like maybe like a second apart. Like it would be like in my head, like I'm actually hearing the sound of the TV in my head. But I also think I was tuning, could be been you're tuning into a dog or one of my parents, like audibly reject me or something. But yeah,
Glow was just talking about her sense of smell.
yeah,
See, for me, um, this has been going on. I don't even. It's been so long since. Oh my god! As long as I could possibly remember, is I can smell when someone's sick, and other people may have this. You never know. So I'll describe what it smells like. If somebody's sick, like okay, for instance, when I was working out at CrossFit gym up here, it was owned by this guy Brad McMillan. He okay, this girl next to me had cancer, and she didn't tell anybody yet, and I could smell it, and I could smell her sick, and what it smells like rotten salami, and that's the only way I could describe it that would resonate with anybody. If you're walking near someone, you smell like it smells like rotten salami, and anybody else that I've ever come across that was sick, even if they have a viral infection or anything, I could smell it, and I could tell when the kids are sick. I could smell it. I could smell like it smells like rotten salami. That's the only way I could describe it. And maybe some other people smell that off of people. You know, um, I think the reason for that is maybe that was one of our senses from a long time ago reawakening. Maybe this is one of our ancestors used to do this. Maybe that's
Yeah.
how they knew each other wasn't feeling well, is that they
Right.
would smell it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But all our senses are heightened in really absurd ways. My taste, it changed totally. Like with
Yeah.
certain things, taste better, or it's
Yeah,
like you could.
certain things are tasting different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or now I come across people when I talk about the taste changing, they tell me that they could taste a recipe and tell you every single thing. I mean, yeah, every single ingredient in the recipe. If they ate it, they could tell you everything that was added into it, every spice. I mean,
Right.
what is that? It's
Mhm.
hilarious in some ways, but like I said, it's like we're gaining these superpowers or something. You know,
Yeah,
but
it's
the
pretty
smell thing, yeah,
interesting,
that's,
and
that's
and, and
important.
it's neat. I think it's neat. It's kind of like, gosh, is this all there is to this world? Because it's pretty darn boring, if you ask me. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I was pretty bored with everything, and of course, life can get kind of still monotonous and boring. But I mean, how much can we change? What are the rules? What can we do? Can we make something better? Can we all focus our energy? I mean, could we have gotten rid of that hurricane? Had
Yeah,
we
Well,
not freaked
no.
out, had
yeah,
we not freaked out, had we all just said no, we're not going to have that, could
and
we
that's
have
why it
said
wasn't.
no
Yeah,
and dissipated the energy of it? I mean, I think half of it was energy feeding into the system of the storm. I mean,
yeah.
Mhm.
That'll be part of that ascension talk tomorrow because that's
Yeah.
that's all part of that because it's all energy. It's totally You're
right,
totally right. Well,
Speaking.
it was supposed to be worse and it wasn't as bad as it was because
Yeah.
you have people saying, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm not going to tolerate it, like you said. And, I believe that. I totally believe that. What, Earl?
I'm getting a little tired.
Okay. Well, we should
aw,
end it anyways. And then
yeah,
we'll come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think everybody that's watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Google Plus, thank you so much for watching. People on Twitch, I appreciate it. And for the ones that watch this later, um, in our description is our channel, our platform and Discord where we all congregate and talk. If you have any questions, we'll be
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
mhm,
And you'll see Earl, you'll meet Earl, you'll meet Glowing. I'll be
Yeah.
there, and we have a big team of really good people,
Yeah.
and we're there to help. And we
Right.
also do teachings where we teach people how to do beautiful things like astral projection or just learning, right?
Right.
working with
We're
some
all
energy, making
teachers,
sure your energy stays,
definitely.
Yeah.
even. If you like crystal stuff, there's people who really enjoy working with those. If you into tarot cards, there's people that can do readings, and I'm
Right.
just barely getting into that. So thank you for
And
Yeah,
she's
Glow's doing really
thank you
well.
for
really
my
She's she,
first
good.
she
card
reads
grouping, my
cards, you
oracle
guys.
cards. It's so
Yeah, she
beautiful.
reads. And I
She's
have to say,
really.
I was a witness, and she's really, really good
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She was
Thank
exact.
She's
you.
like me.
You're
And,
welcome.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, she was totally exact,
Yeah.
but we're there for you guys for any help. I know it's
Yeah.
scary when you start thinking about this stuff, but you know what? It doesn't have to be, especially when you know there's a community of people just like you.
Mhm.
And
And
so,
you're
with
not
that,
crazy. Don't let anybody tell you are.
you're not crazy. Don't put yourself in a home or let anybody put you
Mhm.
in the hospital.
Right.
You don't have to be there. Maybe some of you do, but the majority don't.
Well,
Yeah.
let's not go there. We don't need people being like, "Oh, you're making fun of people meant to live." And
Well,
no,
I know there's been
you're
a few
not.
people who have questioned themselves about,
Right.
with those Mandela things, and just,
Mhm.
people around them questioning them
Right.
and saying, are you crazy? Are you this? Are you that? Or maybe you need to go someplace or you need to do something. And it's like,
Or
no, don't
they
do
put on
that.
medication. They
Yeah.
medicate,
Yeah.
which
Mhm.
isn't good.
Yeah, that's probably one of the worst things to do because it just blocks you out, and then you only get little pieces of it all, and you won't really. I don't know.
Enjoy the full effect.
I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna be a doctor for you, but
No, we're not doctors for
I would
sure.
avoid it.
Right. No.
I would avoid it if you're normally regularly going through life and all of a sudden you're seeing something that's a little bit different, or you notice something a little bit different. A lot of
Yeah.
people, like I said, we've done this before a little bit. The Berenstain Bears or something different
Yeah,
with a
we'll go
Mickey
through
Mouse
that.
looking
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
how we're gonna format this glow is like one day we'll do all about all about books or something. Then we'll do all
Right.
about
Right.
music, and then we'll do about the movies, or we'll do the music and movies together.
Yeah, music and
Right.
movies, I think we could put them in
Yeah, we could do those
together.
together.
And we'll probably, a person I would love to bring in on that one would be Moneybags 73, I think.
Yeah,
So get him
I'll try
because
to. I'll get a hold of him. I've met him a few times, so he's a good guy. I'm sure he'd come on here. Maybe him and his son. And so for now, I thank you so much, Earl. I thank you so much, Glow.
yep.
And
Thank you,
like I said,
Marlena.
you're welcome,
Hey,
and
thank you, Marlena.
you're welcome, you guys. And I'll see you guys in Discord.
Yep.
And to everyone else, we love you very much, and we're gonna go with that. So peace out, and
He's out,
That's
people.
funny. Peace out.
Mm-mm.
see you later.
All right.